Hey guys, it's Chad or the Climbing Kid. Today we're going to be analyzing this video of someone climbing the Texas Flake, which is, I believe it's a pitch on El Capitan. I don't know if it's part of a larger pitch or if it's a pitch in itself. A pitch being a segment of climbing where one person climbs up to the end, from the start of one pitch to the end of a pitch. They can range from around 30 to 100 feet, I'd say, on average. Let's get watching. It's on El Capitan in Yosemite. Okay, so it looks like they have a Belay down here who's holding the rope, who we can't see from this angle. Keep that in mind. I hate that sound. What do you say? I can't hear that. Oh, I said this to the Texas Flake. Okay, so this right here is he's putting his hand into a crack climbing style. And crack climbing is when, in a gap like this, you would put your hand in and then touch your pinky with your thumb and kind of like flex your hand. And the counter pressure between the thumb, or like the meat of the thumb, and the back of the hand creates this kind of gap that really you don't need that much strength for. It really just, because your hand just sits in there and it feels super comfortable because it's on the bone, not the muscle. So people really love crack climbing. I'm not that good of it, so I don't know. I don't really know the technique for it. So he's just getting his hand in there and then clipping onto the first anchor. Sorry. So in big wall climbing and lead climbing, you wouldn't, if it's a small route like Silence that Adam Unger sent, I think a year ago, you wouldn't he bolted it up, and then so all you had to do was clip into the bolts as you go. In something like here, you would have to clip into an anchor most of the time at like I'm pretty sure it's always at the beginning / end of every pitch. So in between those, you would put cams, another thing. I'm pretty sure all of them are called cams. These things that you put into cracks in the wall that stick in you basically pull down a button that unwinds a spring, and then you put it in, let go of the button, and then that spring it springs, which causes these gears to rotate and grind into the rock, which makes a really solid place for you if you were to fall. It's not going out. If it's a good placement, it won't come out. Anytime a piece comes out of the wall, it will be fine if you're on big walls, because eventually it'll go down to the anchor. If you're doing short leads where there is no anchor, you're just doing these pieces. And by anchor, I mean things you clip into, not like the double gate at the end. Then you will, and if they all pick as you go down because you place them all in horribly, you can hit the ground, which is called decking, so that's not good. Let's fast forward a bit. He's just climbing up these rocks. So yeah, some more crack climbing and just really grabbing the top of the hold. That was your top of the hold grab. And he's checking below to put his foot in, because that's what's pushing him up. Well, all the progress is being made in his hands, because that's how he pulls his feet up, and then his feet are things actually pushing him up, if that makes sense. Yeah, some more climbing. Okay, so he's getting his way up. Oh, let's go back a second. So this right here is called a rail, or yeah, this would most likely be called a rail. It's basically a long, most of the time long piece of crimp rock that you would crimp to just a long piece of rock that you would crimp. It can be like a short rail, there's such thing as that. It's basically just a straight piece of rock that is flat, sometimes with like a grip, maybe a little indent here and there, maybe a full line of indent. Yes, that's what this is. You can't really use it in that angle, maybe as a foot, but if you were to be climbing from this angle, you would use that, and that'd be called a rail. Yes, he's just getting up here. It's pretty hard in this area, in the position he's in. Obviously, it's called the Texas Flake because I don't know why the Texas part. I assume it's kind of shaped, kind of like Texas on the outside. But it's a flake in the sense that it kind of there's a gap in between that and the big rock.
Okay,
Obviously, it is connected. So he got it from this part, and it's calling down to a belay, just kind of like as, not even as like a belay thing, just like a friend to friend. Because obviously in climbing, you're spending a lot of time with another person, and you're gonna get to know them well if you did before or not. So what we're looking at here is a chimney. A chimney is, well, it's essentially resembles something that resembles a chimney. Hence the name Chimney. And most of the time you would kind of spider climb it, but here it's going to be a lot of his back on probably this wall. Um, Based on, well, there's a lot more footholds on this wall, and that's kind of the direction he's facing. In the like his belayers, he's gonna have his feet closer to the belayer, so his back's gonna be away from it, which is what I imagine what most people do. And also this wall's slightly more slabbier than this wall. It's more of a slab, I guess the correct terms would be. So he's going to be putting his back against this wall and his feet here. And if he falls, he might slide a little bit, but he should be able to catch himself just by kind of locking in those feet.
Fucking crazy.
Just kind of getting prepared. There's a lot of like dust and stuff in there, obviously, because all the rock that grinds there. If there's like any type of maybe small earthquake, rocks will grind against each other. Any type of like water can make rocks move and grind against each other. Wind even sometimes. So yeah, all the sediments really pile up. Which, if I'm not mistaken, is what created Yosemite. Just letting his belayer know, because his belayer can't see him and he can't see his belayer. So he's saying, hey, don't give me slack, because obviously the belayer has to give the rope as he goes up. So he's saying, hey, just stay where you are, hold in position while I go up. Obviously, if you start spitting out slack, that wouldn't be the best. It could get caught on his feet, get like caught in the corner of one of these rocks, which should not be good. So yeah, it's important you communicate with your belayer if you can't see them or they can't see you, or just really all in general, because it's all about the coordination that will keep you safe in climbing. So really having that communication will prove in handy, I guess.
I'm in it now. I'm just taking a quick breather.
Yeah, more communication. Obviously, it is very tiring. I skipped through lots of what he just did, but
Okay.
he's super tired. It's very grip strength heavy what he just did. Luckily, most of this will be the counter pressure between his knees, and his shins, and his back, so it's not too much muscle involved, except for the part where he goes up. But he should be able to rest without an issue, for the most part, that is. Yeah, he's going on his knees there. That's because the gap right there is slightly wider. So he wants to go to his knees and his feet, which are keeping the pressure, while his back's kind of against the other wall, occasionally lifting up. So yeah, just casual. He's alternating each leg as he goes up. Oh, he got a rail. It's again a bunch of like sediments and dust and stuff in there. So he's trying to really utilize that rail to, this what's called a mantle, where you push up on the on your arm. So it's more of a push up rather than a pull up position. And most of the time you would get your feet up on that hold, but I'm pretty sure this move still classifies as a mantle because he's, well, pushing down with his hand on a hold to get his feet up. Or it doesn't even have to really get your feet up, just to reach something or do something that would be harder if you were not to mantle. That would be my best definition of a mantle. So he's just trying to use that as much as possible because he knows there's not going to be another one of those. at least for this bit. Just more sliding. I've seen this. Yeah, he's standing on that. You really want to take lots of breaks, especially this is definitely dangerous. Not really like major damage, but a lot of like scraping. Yeah, rock climbing really pays off. Like that, just one statement. I know it just sounds stupid with me saying, "Oh, he's happy," because it's so obvious and it makes me sound stupid. But like, rock climbing does pay off. It's a lot of preparation, a lot of coordination, communication, a lot of strength and technique, and just leading up to that one anchor meant he made progress. All of that was worth it. So I know I sound stupid when I say this because it's so obvious. I'm just literally saying he's happy. But every time you reach another point in rock climbing, it really does make a lot. Just getting to the next, or mean a lot. Just getting to the next hold. Some more chimney stuff. Now, I would not advise pulling on these, not because it's like gonna damage it or anything. It's just not would really be like, well, how do I say this? Like, I don't want to say a good climb because it's only this one part. It's just not like that. You know, in climbing, there's a lot of ways you can cheat routes, even at like indoor gyms. But most people they decide like not to because the whole point of making a route is to feel that kind of accomplishment that you made it. So I know it's just this one move, but just by not like doing anything as if nothing was there, it can really like you'll be way happy if you didn't use it. Obviously, this is just one thing. I feel like just being that like one guy who's like, oh, he used it, blah, blah. But like yeah, just something I wanted to point out. I'm not gonna like harass him for it. This is really hard climbing, so he's doing a great job. Some more inching. Actually, let's go back to this. Here he's kind of he was using that rail to get up. So what? Yeah, let's go back a second. So I don't know if you can see how the camera's a lot more side to side. That's because his feet are on the horizontal, or not horizontal, diagonal rail, mainly vertical though. And so that's making him go a lot more to the left. So with his hands, he has to keep his balance to the right. So yeah, he's just getting past it. Keeps going. Keeps more climbing. Lots of inching. There we go. Makes it to the top. You can see the Belay just down there. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of analysis. If you have, please subscribe. It would really mean a lot to me. Just you clicking on this video gave me a view, considering I don't have any views yet. Yeah, I really mean it when I say it would mean a lot to me. So subscribe and like the video if you if you liked the video, then there's a button that says you like it. So I would click that if you like the video because you know it says you liked it, and then everyone's happy, and then it doesn't affect you, but it makes me a lot happier. And then yeah, you get the point. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.